And welcome back to What If. Our one shot for the day is from JDC West. The question, and it's a very fair question. What if Frieza didn't exist? I mean, look, the entire events, the entire history of Dragon Ball Z as it is set forth in motion because of Frieza, because he feared the legend of the Super Saiyan, destroyed destroyed the planet and its inhabitants out of fear. And I'm just adjusting real quick, out of fear. And one lone Saiyan plus the few others survived, and the story of Dragon Ball was set in motion. That is all due to Frieza. So what happens if you take that catalyst out of the equation? Well, seeing as this is only a one-shot, you can imagine this is not going to be a long-term story. Because if Frieza didn't exist, that would mean, first off, okay, let's get the obvious question or obvious answer out of the way. Cold just spawns, however he's made. The creation of Frieza is actually and Cold and all that. It's actually I get so many conflicting answers to how Frieza or why Frieza exists. Like literally like the conception, how he was created. I've heard that he is they breed, they are amoebas. They are asexual and therefore can just like reprocreate. I've heard he's a clone. There's obviously the dub where he's got parents. So, one second. The main antagonist concept, parents, personality, background. Okay, background. Let me see if, okay. So, Frieza's father is a mutant with an abnormally high power. Because this, Frieza possesses a mutated trait making him and his father King Cold, blah, 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 fucking ads. King Cold, the only ones among Frieza race who possess the striking level of power cruelty shown in the series. Even among his family and the rest of his race, he is a prodigy whose natural growth power is required to never undergo any actual training. It is said from the moment he was born, he is more powerful and cruel than his father. Now, we obviously know that he's actually not more powerful than his dad. It's actually very much implied because again, Toriyama himself actually said if he ever gave Cold a final form, because we see thanks to Frieza, Cold spends his time in the second transform state, that he would be like on perfect solo. But it's very much implied King Cold is still more powerful than his dad or than his son. Was more Frieza's overall power and genius. Okay, according to the guidebooks, Frieza annexed the Saiyans into the Frieza Force. Thanks to his son's potential, Cold handed over control to hold him while he was still a child, and Broly was introduced to the Saiyans. So it never actually states really his origin. I've heard people say he's a clone. From everything I can tell here, first off, the Frost Demon race, Frieza's race, hold on. The race is never actually said. It is basically, the fan name for the race is Frost Demons. Species has been referred to as Frost Demons and Friezas. So, okay, overview. Not much is known of their origin. Their home planet is never seen. All known members of the race are in Universe 7 manga or in Universe 6. Among the race, some members of the family are abnormally strong. As they gain power, they create new forms to disguise their power and not hide it. Let's see here. Origins. The homeworld is unknown. They're shown many plain language, biology. Most of them look like what they look like. It's not the common tongue. It's able to take on... So I'm just going through everything I can find here. Frieza's race is actually powerful. The most powerful individuals are like Cold and Frieza themselves. And obviously Cold, too. So yeah, again, no actual origin. But what it is said is that these are a race of... This is a species. And among their species, they are stronger than their average species. Though the species itself is actually stated to be very powerful. It's not like King Cold just mutated into what he is. No, he existed, and we see that their species exist in other universes too, like Universe 6. So, what we'll gather is he is basically born in some way. I don't believe he's a clone. I don't agree with that. He's a clone. If someone says that, you need to offer proof, man. You can't, because I saw someone say that. I'm like, really? I don't believe that. So if you're gonna try to state a fact, actually have facts to back up the fact. Anyway, so without Frieza there, the obvious answer is he just spawns another child, whatever. But let's take that out of the equation. Without air, Cold probably just continues to control what he controls. He controls his empire, the Cold Empire. He continues doing what he's doing for thousands, probably hundreds upon thousands of years. Now, the Saiyans probably still end up getting stronger. The question just quickly becomes, does Cold himself ever decide to wipe out the Saiyans? And I just don't know. Well, that's not true. I have an answer. But I say that to tell you where it came from initially. I'm like, I don't know, because Cold never really was afraid of it. Because Cold does not have the same level of ego his son has by any stretch of the means. He's still evil, but he's more like a neutral evil. Yes, I'm evil. Yes, I'm going to use you. But as long as you get the work done, I'm satisfied. That's basically Cold's mentality. He really is. Saiyans would continue to grow stronger. I think eventually he would have to take note of the Saiyans continuing rising power. I think he'd have to take note of that. Because after a while, you just can't... Like, we know that Broly, for instance, would probably actually be a threat. But Broly's on Vampa. He'd still be sent away. But honestly, I just don't see... As strong as the Saiyans we see are in the timeline where Frieza kills them, around the time Frieza kills them, the strongest one on the planet is Vegeta. Actually, at the time, it's King Cold. King Cold was... Actually, no, it's not King Cold, sorry. I was going to say King Vegeta. But actually, at the time, it was actually Vegeta at around 11,000, because I believe we do have a legit power level for that. King Cold's documented to being around 10. I keep saying King Cold. King Vegeta is documented around 10, if I'm not mistaken. I know Vegeta was a little stronger than his dad. So at that time, like, there's no Saiyan that could even come close to threatening him. Even baby Broly, for all of his power, is not a threat to King Cold. You'd have to wait years for Broly to be a legitimate threat. Now, King Cold's not going to be training, so there is that little benefit. But yeah, because of that, Goku is just sent off to, conquer worlds as all lower class Saiyan babies are. And he probably does that. Now, granted, he's a kid, and it's most likely, as I always put, that he has a stronger positive nature than most Saiyans. But yeah, I still think we do his job. Might not like it, but he's also a baby, so he doesn't really have much of a say. He's just reacting. And so, honestly, yeah, it's it's one of those things that the Saiyans just continue to do what they're doing. King Vegeta, is not killed. So what you actually would see is probably the increase of strength of Prince Vegeta from his father through actual training with him. And King Vegeta probably gets some enhancements too, but he would only be so strong because we know he would get older quicker. Not necessarily, that's not what I mean. He was a lot older. In fact, do we have an age on King Vegeta? We got Broly's age. Broly is actually... I didn't realize how old Broly was. Broly's in his 40s. It's actually quite insane how old Broly actually is. But King Vegeta, we know Paragus was an older Saiyan too because of the white hair. He was already probably in his 80s at that point. But hold on, King Vegeta. Let's see here. What do we got an age? Let's see here. Age when he died. Let's see. Okay, date. Oh, we do have an age for King Vegeta. Amazingly. Huh? How about that? He died at the age of 39. So actually, he was pretty young. So we know Saiyans live longer too. They can retain their youth up until their 80s, and they start to rapidly age. So yeah, he was actually pretty young. So you factor in another how long? Oh God, 10 some odd years easy, and you get like a teenage Vegeta, maybe even factor in 20 years, you get now a 59-year-old King Vegeta whose power is probably lesser than his son's, but Prince Vegeta probably is more closer to say in the 40s or 50,000s through all those years of training and some extra Zenkais. And King Vegeta is probably somewhere in the 30,000s as well. So yeah, they're pretty strong, but ultimately it just doesn't matter. They don't have the strength to take on the king. Unfortunately, they have the arrogance to do so, particularly freaking little shitheel Prince Vegeta. And at some point when King Cold just comes to survey the scene, he most likely tries to challenge him, gets his ass whipped, goes full ape, and gets his ass whipped even harder. So, unfortunately, I think King Cold does admire the spunk, though, and lets him live, though he just pops the tail off. He's like, no! And, goes off, does his own thing again. And Vegeta just lives in agony and shame. And that shame, that agony, eventually turns him into the legendary Super Saiyan! Plus, with a Zenkai, it doesn't matter, though, because the way King Cold seems to be depicted, Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga Super Saiyan Goku might have had trouble with him post the Zenkai he got. And the bit of training he did with the Yardratians, or the Yardrats. But unfortunately, he needed at least minimum a 3 million power level base to be able to even, in theory, contest the King Cold. So even with the training and King Cold coming back, maybe even Prince Vegeta going out to confront him and King Vegeta saying, no, don't do it, he unfortunately is taken out by King Cold once and for all, saying, oh, little upstart, sorry, little prince, but I don't have time for this, and I'm going to have to reprimand your father. And they just kills him on the spot. And there'll be some interactions, too, with Beerus, obviously, but then Beerus goes to sleep, so there's no point in that. Really, I think Cold just keeps the Saiyans in check most of the time. Cut over to planet Earth. What goes on in that series? Well, Bulma would find the Dragon Balls at Gohan's place. Gohan probably maybe even goes with her just for safety's sake. He's not a perv as far as we can tell. Roshi was, but as far as we can tell, he wasn't. And yeah, he goes and he takes care of Boss. Garrett would have been the tricky one, because Bulma, he's got turned into a carrot and she'd be done. But here, no, Gohan takes care of him. Honestly, they take care of the Pilaf gang too because of that, and Bulma gets her wish. I think, honestly, she tries to wish for the perfect boyfriend, and, Roshi can't, or the I don't know what would happen with that, but I think the Dragonon is like, I cannot do that. Right? And the reason, what? You can make it. It's like, I cannot do that based on the requirements for the wish. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, no, perfection is a subjective term. And it's like, I cannot. The perfect boyfriend for me, I don't even know you. But it's like, fine, let's have some plain strawberries. And so there's that. Ultimately, Krillin finds Roshi, trains with him, gets beaten by Roshi in the tournament. And then you have the Red Ribbon Army saga, which unfortunately, that would probably not go well. Like, the Red Ribbon Army would eventually get their wish, and he just wishes they could be taller. And there you go. Another martial arts tournament happens. There's no Goku. General Tao is still alive, so Tien's still a douche, but not hell-bent on killing him or getting revenge on Goku or Krillin or whoever. So, yeah. Eventually we get to the King Piccolo shit, and that does not go well. That does not go well at all. And, yeah, the world's screwed over. King Piccolo is killing fools. Until eventually a Saiyan shows up and just wipes out the planet, or just goes wholesale on the planet, and, takes it for the highest bidder and sells it for Cold's Empire. So, yeah. And then, have to fast forward all the way into the Boo saga, where Babidi is trying to basically get energy for Boo, which is difficult because obviously there's not a lot of prime candidates for energy on this planet. Ultimately, I think what he would do is sacrifice, like, say, Dabura or something like that. Get Boo, and they destroy the planet, go on, start destroying planets. Eventually, they would reach both King Cold and Vegeta. The Saiyans would have a valiant effort, but Boo just wipes them out, and then King Cold gets wiped out, and it's not until Beerus wakes up, wipes out the fat big blob, and ultimately then Universe 7 gets wiped out because Zeno just decides, yep, time to go. So, yeah, without Frieza existing, the series cannot exist. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking on this, I feel like I've done this before. Give me a second here. There we go. Frieza, hold on, Frieza. Let's Let me just see here. I feel like because I've been wasting my time otherwise. Let's see, King Piccolo, Frieza Cell. Do I have a what if Frieza didn't exist already? I got what if he turned good? Let's see here. I got. Okay, no, I don't. As far as I can tell, I don't have a what if Frieza. It occurred to me, like, am I wasting my entire time right now? But no, there is. Frieza's kind of the crux of the entire series. If he doesn't exist, this series doesn't exist. So take that for what it is. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one later.